5 fastest cars of the 70s you probably never heard of. Most people consider the 1970s to be the landmark decade in all aspects for the car industry. The 60s were a turning point, introducing trends which have lasted up to this day. In fact, there were cars that could strain a driver's neck with their acceleration times. However, they all have two things in common: 0 to 60 miles per hour times of approximately 6 seconds, and they emerged during the 70s. Here's the fastest car in the 70s that you may never see. Number 1. 1971 Plymouth GTX 440. Plymouth based this model on the same platform as the Coronet or the Roadrunner, but it was much more luxurious and had 375 horsepower as standard. They wanted the GTX to compete with luxury cars of the period, so they installed almost all possible creature comforts. They also included a special trim on the outside to distinguish the GTX from the rest of their model lineup. When the early 70s came and all those muscle cars started to lose power and torque figures, Plymouth discontinued the GTX. They stopped production in 1971, keeping it from being a disgrace to its fire-breathing predecessors. The 1971 model went out with a bang when equipped with standard 440 V8 engine. Number 2. 1972 Pontiac Trans Am 455. When traditional muscle cars were losing ground due to tightening regulations, pony cars, such as the Pontiac Trans Am, were gaining respect on the streets. This was due mostly to its looks and performance. In 1972, engines still had some power left, so Pontiac tried the best it could in this situation. The 1972 Trans Am with a 455 big block and 300 horsepower was their hottest offering. It had an acceleration time of 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.4 seconds. Those F-body cars included a competent handling package and brakes, transforming them into proper sports cars. Who knows how capable muscle cars could be if it weren't for the fuel shortages and emissions regulations of the 70s. Number 3. 1973 Porsche 911 Carrera 2.7 RS. Introduced in the mid-60s, the Porsche 911 had somewhat of a tough time establishing itself on the market. Tricky handling, a high price on much less power than the Corvette kept the early 911 sales figures relatively low. However, Porsche didn't give up. Each year, the company has presented an upgraded version with even more power and better handling. They introduced the 911 Carrera 2.7 RS in 1972 as a street-legal racing car. It included an upgraded engine, a lightweight body and a rear spoiler. This car was a pure racer with license plate holders, too. It also featured a 2.7-liter flat-six engine. People could tune up to 300 horsepower, thanks to its light body and quick-ratio manual gearbox. The 1972 Carrera 2.7 RS could get to 60 miles per hour in respectable 6 seconds flat. Number 4. 1970 Plymouth Arc. The 1970 marked heavy battles between car manufacturers in the Trans Am Championship. At one point, almost all pony cars were included in a racing program. Mustangs, Camaros, Firebirds, Challengers and Barracudas were chasing each other on tracks all over America. To homologate the Barracuda for the Trans Am, Plymouth released a model called the All-American Racer, or R. It featured several modifications: blacked-out hood and 340 V8 engine with 290 horsepower. Car experts say that the car was capable of close to 350 horsepower, but it was rated less for insurance reasons. However, the Arcuda proved to be quite agile on the street. Although it wasn't as successful on the racing tracks, it could accelerate to 60 miles per hour in just 5.9 seconds with just a 4-speed manual transmission. Number 5. 1977 Lamborghini Countach LP 400S. Although the Countach is the definitive 80s supercar icon on everybody's bedroom wall posters, it was born in the 70s. They introduced it in 1974 and constantly upgraded it. The Countach helped Lamborghini survive the hardship of the recession by establishing itself as the supercar of the decade. In 1977, Lamborghini introduced the LP400S version. It had a modernized body kit with an updated 4.0-liter V12 engine with 390 horsepower. The mid-engine layout provided balance for the vehicle, with almost 400 horsepower going to its rear wheels. The Countach LP400S was quite fast. The 0 to 60 miles per hour acceleration time took 5.9 seconds, making it the top supercar of the period.